only constant in life is the change, said a Greek philosopher Heraclitus. Many things are changing. Governments come and go, countries cease to exist, and new technologies replace old technologies. But certain things never change, they stay the same, and one of them is the importance of bread. Bread that symbolizes hard work, bread that symbolizes sweat and tears, and bread that symbolizes simple people like you or me. I will never forget how my mom used to bake fresh bread for us. Normally it's very difficult for her to call our family to the kitchen because we're all so glued to our books, newspapers, gadgets. But when she bakes bread, we feel the positive vibes coming from the kitchen. We would be sneaking behind the doors, and we will crawl to the kitchen and being hypnotized by the aroma. And when she bakes proper traditional bread, tabanan, round like a full moon, she wraps it into a linen cloth several times to keep it warm, because the bread would be piping hot, and we would be waiting religiously to try it, and everyone wanted the first piece. And butter would melt right away and filling the pores of the bread. Bread and butter, the perfect combination, like coffee and milk, like cucumbers and tomatoes. Well, unlike those, bread and butter, they actually mean something more than food necessities. Someone might say, I have to carry those boxes 15 hours a day. That's my bread and butter, which means that's his source of income. That's the source of his food. And there's a reason why people say bread and butter, because those are the first things people buy. In many religions, bread means something more than just a food. Let's say in Christianity, the Lord's Prayer contains a line which says, "Give us today our daily bread," which means necessities in general, basic needs. In many cultures in the West and East, bread plays an important role beyond mere nutrition. The Roman poet satirized superficial politicians and public as caring only for bread and circuses. In 1917, the Bolsheviks party promised land, peace, and bread. And even in our culture, bread is a sacred food. You're not supposed to step on it or step over it, or even drop a piece of crumb on the ground. Those are superstitions, but all of people I know here, they never do those things. There's a movie I really like. It is a movie by an Italian, person, Gabriele Salvatoris. It's called I'm Not Scared, and it is a movie set in Italy during 1970s, anni di piombo, years of lead, riddled by terrorism and kidnapping. And the 10-year-old Michele, one boy, he discovers that the entire population of his native town committed a terrible crime. While riding a bike, he discovers a hole where the villagers hid a kidnapped boy from a rich family in the north. At first he's terrified, but then he gets attached to that boy and he starts helping him. They become friends later on, and Michele starts stealing food from his home. And once he collects all the savings he had, he goes to a grocery store and starts grabbing different chocolate bars, candies, and all sorts of foods a 10-year-old boy would desire. Then he stops for a while and he thinks, and he asks a salesperson, what does one want to eat when he's hungry? And the salesperson replies, well, bread. You only want to eat bread when you're hungry. That scene is very simple, but it struck me to the bottom of my heart because as Michele, I've been a child who's never starved before, thankfully. I I think nowadays we don't even realize how lucky we are to have bread on our table. Sometimes I get carried away by modern influences, like gluten-free eating, or no carbs, or we should stay fit, don't eat bread, especially with butter. But somehow, I think we still carry the historical imprint of our nation which in 1930s lost 2 million people from a famine, and thousands of people had to move to neighboring countries just because there was nothing to eat in the village. And one of them was my great-grandfather, who had to take his family to Uzbekistan for a couple of years because there was nothing to eat in the village at that time. And I think we should remember our history. We should respect bread because it's something more than just a food. If you're lucky today to have a loaf of bread to share it with someone, and I would ask you to do so, and I can't do that. So there is a free bread here.